Hello and welcome to the third episode of the fifth season of Talking with the Center of the Universe. It's been like 21 episodes now already, and I can't really believe that we have done so many episodes. And before we introduce our guest, I'll say that, as always, we have me, Center of the Universe, asking questions. In the back room, we have Kristoffer and Soppen 55 that they are taking care of the streaming and the cameras and stuff. And today is also a very special day because it's the first time Kristoffer actually invited our guest.
You!
And before we start, also, we need more audience. So I have to be like the annoying YouTuber. Like and share and subscribe and all of that. And share the stream with your friends because we need a little bit of help. And today we have with us Magdaléna Manderlová.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hi. Thank you.
Nice to have you here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's so fantastic to come here.
Yeah, you like the forests.
Yeah, I love your room.
And it's it's a special episode because we are talking about something that I don't know too much about.
Is that true?
Yeah, I know a bit about it, but I never done this thing myself. I'm know more about music and even experimental music than your field. That is you coin yourself as a sound artist and field recorder or field recordist. And what do you lay in that? What does that mean even?
What does that mean to be a sound artist?
Yeah.
Or what do I do in my...
What even is field recording?
Yeah,
and explain me like I'm 5.
That's a great question. I run a workshop for kids in schools in DKS, Den kulturelle skolesekken.
Yeah.
That is about listening and field recording.
Yeah.
And then we talk exactly about this.
Yeah.
Like what is the field in field recording?
Yeah.
And then we speak about that field recording is, or the field is wherever you make the field out of it, in a way. So we are not recording in a controlled studio room, or we are not recording performed music per se, but sound that already exists, places that are both outside and inside, I would say. I think that a lot of people can think that it's a lot about nature or natural world, but I don't think it's necessarily that. It can be in cities and streets and train stations and inside homes and on the streets and in forests and so on.
The field can be
anywhere.
Yeah. So that's what you teach the
That's what we talk about.
Yeah. Because it's if you come from like studio recording background, it feels like you go outside or you go somewhere and it's all the noises that you want to take out of the studio.
Yeah.
You want to take into to your field recording. Is that
No, I think it's more like what is noise, what is noise for you and what is noise for me and for Kristoffer probably have different meanings on the noises. And then what can become music or field recording in the end. It's also very different for everybody, I think.
It's very interesting. And but you also use the term sound artist, right?
Yeah.
Which is coming out of the visual art tradition, right? Compared to the music side.
Yeah. Or
how do you define that?
I mean, I'm educated in visual arts in art academies, so that is my background, and then I see sound art as kind of a broad field in maybe in an intersection between music and visual art and different small genres like field recording and so on. So it feels like it's a field that is on the margin, like on the edge of all of these other fields.
Yeah.
And it feels quite open, and that's why I like it.
And do you feel like you specifically are like crossing between, or is this like how most people who call themselves sound artists work?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I mean, for me, it feels comfortable to call myself that because I record sound and then I work with it further, and I then maybe also thinking and speaking of the outlets of how the work then exists, if it's an exhibition or an album or a concert. So maybe this also defines how people call themselves in the end. If
Christopher is almost spoiling my question. Not really spoiling the. But just to get it really down to earth. When you go out like to record something, how do you work and how do you think? You call your work site specific. How do you do this thing? Like you describe like your process of like.
I often do something called field work, where I go out and work out in the field.
There's a lot of field there going on.
There's a lot of field, yeah. Because I mean, what I like to do the most is to be outside. So I'm trying to sort of incorporate it in my work. And then, you know, as we were saying what the field is, then the sound that exists in the field already belongs to a place. So then as soon as you start recording these sounds somewhere, you already are working site-specific because you are working with a specific site and the sounds that already are there. So this is what makes it site-specific for me, and for me personally, I find it extremely inspiring, and I enjoy it really very much to work with places over a long period of time.
So you find this start with the place you want to like research, and like plan to have like what the sound is in this specific place, and then you like plan to go out and record.
Yeah, then I
with mics and we'll get into some really nerdy questions about mics later on. Yeah, this is really interesting because it's like I feel it's upside down of a studio.
Yeah, it is.
Or maybe like a live recording but with no band, and it's like for me it's like it's not counterintuitive. But I never like really done anything in that.
No, I mean it's very simple in how it's done. You know, you just pack your gear, how big or small it is, and then you just go out and you see what happens.
Yeah, and then you have to like but are you like waiting for the right moments? Like when you film.
Yeah.
I'm comparing this a little bit to going out with a camera and seeing what you find.
Yeah. It can be a lot of waiting, or depends on what you're after, or if you have any intentions or expectations and so on. I often don't.
We are like getting into this album that is released now soon, but I was listening to this and I was thinking that you must like wait for the right. It must have been like really like waiting for the right moment of stuff to happen, and. Or do you like roll the tape and then you edit?
Yeah, I do both. So on this album there are recordings that are edited out from hours of recordings.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do this thing called a drop rig, where I would have my recorder with a really large battery and I would leave it there overnight or over a couple of days.
What do you call it?
A drop rig.
A drop rig?
Yeah, so you drop the rig. Yeah.
Rig.
So you pick your
it's
spot.
like a audio version of the not the stop motion, but stoppen. What is it called when you leave the camera?
Time lapse.
A time lapse.
Yeah.
It's like almost. Did you ever think of doing like an audio time lapse?
Yeah, so these are different, ways of how you can approach.
Yeah, a drop rig. I never used. I never heard the term.
I heard about the drop rigs.
Yeah.
Often it's like a small rig, right? Like some people connect them to trees.
Yeah, I would often do these kind of things, to leave it on the tree or somewhere where, you know, it would be maybe hard to record otherwise, so you can just leave it.
But when you meet people out in the field, like the
That's
people,
fantastic.
yeah, like people that are like tourists or like just walking outside, and do they like ask?
Yeah, you come across a lot of interesting and strange conversations along these processes. Because then I would often go to the same places over a long period of time,
Yeah.
and then you maybe meet the same people, so you become a bit friendly, and it's a lot of bird watchers I often meet, and then like people walking their dogs, and people who like this particular place, and
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. So, but
it's
they are
nice.
like getting curious about why are you like walking out in the field with microphones? So because I feel like with the camera it's like pretty obvious.
Yeah.
It's like you're watching birds or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
But if you have meet someone with just a
No,
mic,
people are quite curious to see what you're up to.
and these mics are pretty. You can see them also.
Yeah, depends what you have, but yeah.
Yeah, but your mics, the mic in the thumbnail of this video, it's like you can see if that's what you use.
Yeah, I use different things.
Yeah,
but
different mics. We're getting into mics too. Maybe we should have the first audio example, just to get people like into how this sounds.
All right. So, how would you pronounce this word? It's the first track, is it?
Yeah, Probouzení. It's a beautiful name. It means waking up.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so it's the first track from the album. So here we go.
And now we were hearing, what were we hearing here?
We were hearing a track called Probuzení, which is the first one of this album that has just come out.
Yeah, we're going to talk more about the album later, in the middle of the, we will come to that. But it's like, I have to ask the question that we were like starting to tease, like, what is the difference between field recording and sound art?
Yeah, a good question. I think for me it's, as I was saying earlier, I think, or I look at sound art as like a larger pool of different subgenres, and field recording is maybe one of them.
Yeah. And so it's like it's very easy to answer actually, and maybe not the best question.
No, I mean it's interesting because I find it confusing myself. Like what it is it exactly?
Because it's a
lot of terms.
Yeah,
and
the sound art is like always troubling me because it's I've been thinking a lot about this reception theory.
Yeah.
Like this, you place the art is like made from where it ends up to make it like really easy. So if it ends up in the gallery, it's sound art. If it ends up in the stage, it's music. But where do your works end up?
Yeah.
Normally, like except for this album, where can people like hear? Or?
Yeah, I mean I do work. I think because of my background in visual arts, I have worked quite a lot with exhibitions, but I feel like I've been stepping away a little bit from that because I have started to feel some, got a bit tired of the working with the white cube and so on.
Yeah.
So I've been doing a little bit more work that takes place outside, sound walking and inviting people to participate in these walks and working interdisciplinary and organizing symposiums or like small festivals that take place outside in places like this where I go record, for example.
Yeah, because it's quite interesting that like you started with this because you wanted to be outside, and then it's like, so where do we go now? We go into the white cube in the gallery.
Yeah.
So it's like a full circle almost.
It's a full circle. Yeah.
But if you present this how would you present this in a white cube?
Well, you always can have work on speakers, compositions on speakers or on headphones or different, kind of installation-like exhibitions. And then you can always also have something I have done is like to make publications or artist books that maybe have some text and photography and different.
But do you ever do things like this? You show like the place behind, or like you have like or videos even from the. Yeah, you never did that.
No, not really. No.
No, I think it's like the opposite way. It's super interesting to like present this, that you walk into a gallery and you like blast the sounds that we can hear in the background now. You like create a space that is not even there in the first place. I think that's a super interesting thought to like you like project sound on people into, and I feel like it's almost like ambient music.
Yeah.
Like you have like music that is like around. It's like you move the sounds.
Yeah.
From. So I would like to see this in a
in a gallery.
In a gallery, I wouldn't. At least I wouldn't object.
No. But I mean, field recording and ambient music also very close to each other. What do you say, Christopher?
Crossover there.
Yeah.
And like actually back to what you were talking about before, when you're gonna ask like about this field recording and so on, and versus sound art. I guess it's just like one. It's almost like one instrument, right, or one technique. It's like some sound artists would probably like. For example, we have talked about the piece where they took just the MP3 artifacts, right?
Yeah.
Or the ghost.
The ghost in MP3.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting. Like the web page they took is Susanne Vegas, Tom Steiner, and they like converted it to an MP3, and they took only the stuff that MP3 was taking away from the sound.
So that's like a sound piece, right?
Then
it's not just like a music, then it's like an art piece. But it's very different from field recording. It's a different technique, different instrument.
I think like if it's sound art, it's often like involves producing something that maybe isn't there in the first place.
You think so? Yeah.
With field recordings, you have to like have some very clear source, or something that could be like recorded. A sound art could like be recorded in a studio even.
Yeah.
Or like
for sure.
maybe digitally created even, but you can't like this thing. You can't really digitally create even if you.
But it sounds like you are kind of putting them in different, like you're separating them, right? I would rather say that like...
No, I'm not separating them. I'm thinking of like sound art as the umbrella and field recording as a part of it.
Yeah.
But I think there is like all field recordings are sound art, but not all sound arts are field recording. It's like this.
But you could also like use field recordings in your music.
Yeah.
Then it's not sound art anymore. Then it's music. I make music with field recordings.
There is, but there is like some really interesting things that are like exceptions to this. That is like making some like producing field recordings. Artificially, there's like this. Back in the day, there was this guy that was like making VST plugins that was like making birds and making like insects and making thunder, and it's like artificially.
Yeah.
So it's
like a Foley.
like a Foley.
Yeah.
It was like. I think that was really interesting because you can't hear; it's not real. So at some point it starts getting into Foley.
Yeah, which is another. I know some artists that are particularly working with Foley.
A Foley artist. We should have a Foley artist in this show next. If we like continue this like logical progression of like starting out with electronic music and then like sound art, and now you come to your work. And then a Foley artist is next. If you know, if the people watching knows any good Foley artists, that
there is a Danish Foley artist that lives at Nesodden, I think, or Fagerstrand.
It is. Yeah, that's a good idea.
I met him in the bar once.
Yeah, but now we're coming to the question that we ask everyone that comes to this show, no matter like what they do, if they're a DJ or producer or like sound artist. We always have this question, and it will be pretty easy for you to answer, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. For the English-speaking audience, it means, how is the new album coming along? Which can be like a mock question if you like been working on an album for 10 years and
yeah, almost.
that you never got to release because you're like stuck in the final mix. For you, it's a bit more easy.
Yeah, I mean, it has just come out, but it has been a long process.
Yeah.
Here it is. We can do a little unwrapping or unpacking, if you help me, Jørgen.
Yeah. I was like warning you that this would be really difficult without a knife.
Are you gonna do the slide on your pants method?
Is this
Here.
this side? Yeah.
See, here is a
But
little.
this is going to be really,
I think we take this one.
Yeah. Oh,
Wow,
yeah.
look at this.
Unwrapping. Now it's not worth as much on Discogs. Now this is like you have to take. Actually, you have to take a knife. Like here is the wow. Inside of the. It's like keying out a little bit. It's yeah.
So we have I have like a little insert.
Wow, this is beautiful.
With some
It's beautiful.
texts by me and by my colleague, and there is also a poem and some drawings,
In
some
Czech.
credits, yeah,
The poem. Yeah.
yeah, and the texts are in Czech and English.
And English. Yeah.
And then we have a little bird on the record.
Nice. Now it's the time for me to have my stupid joke that you will probably be angry from, and it's like
Go ahead.
yeah, because I have a Bulgarian sound technician
Okay.
friend, and the Czech one too,
You do.
and the Czech one too. And the Czech one too. And the reason why I cracked this joke is that you have a Czech background. Yeah.
Yeah,
And this album is recorded
in the Czech Republic.
in the Czech Republic. Yeah. Yeah, that's
it's
the
true.
background for this joke. It's a beautiful, really beautiful affair.
Thank you.
This is like really nice.
Yeah, but I mean, now it's out and it feels really great, and it's a great relief actually, because it hasn't been 10 years but 5 years.
5 years, yeah. Yeah, but
making.
that's not bad.
So it's a long time.
Yeah.
And it was sort of, I had a long pause in the last section of it because I was on maternity leave and so on. And then it got postponed 3 times in the end because of some technical issues.
Yeah, but tell us about the technical things, because that's like the people watching this show, they are like nerds.
They are nerds,
Like,
okay.
Yeah, so just go ahead with a complicated version.
So what happened is that in some of my recordings, because I experiment and play around with different stereo setups, and I don't use like a fixed bar. And in some of the recordings, I used quite extended stereo microphones that were quite far from each other, which I really loved when I was recording there and then.
Because it sounds like wider when you hear it on headphones. Is that
it's quite a different. It creates a different image and space in the recording. And then, for 3-4 years later, during the mastering process, Lasse Marhaug, who was mastering the record, found out that there is a phase issue in some of the recordings because of this wide stereo.
But it's like a real phase issue, like the whole spectrum, like even the deep frequencies and. Yeah,
it was mostly in the top.
In the top, yeah. But you can't just draw with that and print to an LP.
No, so he did like a chain of fixes, like the best he could. But I mean, the end result on the vinyl and the digital it's quite different.
But this is in the first tracks.
I just have to ask. So on the digital version, you have like the unfixed one.
Yeah, because it doesn't. Because it is, of course, this phase issue comes forward because of the specs related to vinyl production and vinyl mastering for vinyl.
So how did it sound? It's like swishy swooshy or like?
No, kind of thin. Because the
like
top frequencies were very dampened, sort of. So when you listen to the vinyl mastering on your headphones on your computer, it is not so pleasant.
No.
But then, I mean, when I listen to the record on vinyl player in my living room, I'm really happy with it. But then, all these different things with the record and vinyl player come forward, so it kind of, I feel like it compensates. It's a different experience, of course, then.
I'm a little surprised that it's like, because I've heard about vinyl records that there's only like phase issues in the bass that is a problem.
Yeah.
But this has to do with like the physical movement of the needle or something.
Yeah.
Because I thought you could just like roll with like any phase issues. Maybe if it have as long as it didn't have a bass that is completely out of phase. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't.
No, I'm not so. Maybe Christopher knows best about what this means.
Lasse could come forward in the shop.
Yes. Now we should have like a caller.
Now we should have a call your friend time.
Caller, you're on the air.
Lasse sits up there in Vesterålen and is like thinking about face. He can come forward and like and what did like the single chain and everything, because I think this is really interesting. Because if I had, I was like thinking, if I had this record for mastering, since sometimes I do mastering, the first thing I would check was like phase, but I don't think I would check like for the whole spectrum. I think as long as we have the bass in mono. And but because I thought this would happen like all the time in the studio, if you like record like a jazz album and you put the mics with a big distance, you would have like this. There's always something that is out of phase, but maybe there's like a critical.
Yeah.
I will read up on this actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting. But I also find it interesting that, like, the end result then is that it's almost like the medium is also like has this site specificness, right?
Yeah, right.
So the digital version and the LP version sounds a bit different.
Sounds different, yeah.
And I also think like I mostly listen to vinyl like on speakers, and then digital I can listen on headphones. So it's actually cool.
Yeah.
Like in the end, it's quite nice to have a difference because it's also funny sometimes. Like I buy a vinyl record and then it comes to the digital download, and then I feel a little bit like but I almost feel like I shouldn't listen to the digital one because like I bought the record to listen to the record, you know. But here, so I actually think it's cool that it's like actually different.
I feel the other way around, that I can't listen to the vinyl. Because I don't want to like wear out the vinyl, because maybe it would be like super valuable. It's like the DJ in me was like horrified with just peeling off the plastic. This is my like treasure for the
Yeah, let's see what lasts longer.
on
Your
this,
hard drive or your
on Discogs, the vinyl probably, or maybe the CDs.
when the apocalypse comes, the vinyl survives.
It's the worst thing is that is when people have like the name tags and stamps and stuff. You find like no, but it's really interesting to. I was like trying to think back if I can think of any like vinyl records of field recordings, and if they would like run into this problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to read up on it.
Yeah.
But it's nice. I would have a check. I would put this. This is a very
A check one too.
a check one too. This is a very typical album I would put on at my birthday party or New Year's party or something. Because it's at some point when I have a party, it's like the music is getting like more weirder and weirder, and suddenly it's like, what is this? And so this is a good candidate. Is there any action in the chat?
No action in the
No
chat
action.
today.
No action in the chat today.
But we had another, if you are interested, another tech issue actually.
Yeah, come on.
That happened during the vinyl production. After this master fix, I got my first test presses, which were produced on very high volume.
Aha.
So what happened is that because I mean on my low or compressed knowledge about how vinyl is produced, is that they also use an array of things to protect processes to protect the equipment, right? When they do the first what is it called?
The test press? No,
yeah,
the master.
The master thing.
Or the lacquer even.
Yeah.
Is it? I don't know.
I don't know.
Called the stamper and the lacquer.
Depends on the method they use.
Yeah.
You have a few different ones.
Yeah.
But then, they produced it on a very high volume with compressors.
Aha.
And then what we could hear was really like compressor dips, like volume dips.
Really?
On
this album?
Yeah, on this album.
Aha. Why? That's like
That's
completely.
so weird. It's
That's
like putting a volume maximizer on a field recording
then,
album.
yeah.
It's very weird.
So then me and Lasse and the vinyl production company went in a long email thread and phone calls about like what are we gonna do, and Lasse was convinced that this is because they did it on too high volume, because that's the today's standard when they mostly produce like, you know, music for clubs and hip hop and so on, which is supposed to be loud,
super loud,
and then this very sensitive content.
Yeah, super
It's
dynamic.
like,
But it's weird because like they have been printing classical music on vinyl for like the longest. That's what they've been printing the longest.
Yeah.
It reminds me of a few times on the radio. It's like they play pop music and talking radio and so on during the day, and then they're gonna play like a classical concert, and they forget to switch off this and this like super maximizer on the master chain, and then like people call into NRK. It's like, hey, turn off, it's pumping. It's like this soft classical music. So I guess it's like the same thing that happened here.
That is it's pretty weird.
Yeah.
I've never like heard of this even.
So this whole experience was
I've
really...
just like heard about the other way around, that which maybe that's the reason, because people are like complaining that it's too quiet. But now you're having like a loudness war in the field recording room.
and these dips.
And yeah, like that's completely crazy.
Yeah. So in the end, me and Lasse went in a fight.
Can I ask who was producing the album?
Who is?
Yeah,
Like
who was pressing the album?
Is it allowed?
You of course. Yeah.
It's called Green Lakes Press.
In which country?
In Lithuania.
In Lithuania? I didn't know they have a wine pressing.
No, it's like a small.
yeah.
You know, nowadays it's like a boom of these small presses.
Yeah.
So it's like a small press.
But we are not outing them. We are just saying that you should be careful with they should be careful with the compressor when they get a new field recording album in. Maybe, but
Don't use the hip hop preset on the field recording
it's
album.
interesting, but I thought it was like just like a volume they had like when they cut this. But who is the label? Is it your label or is it someone else?
No, the label is German. Quite an old kind of a field recording label called Gru and Recorder.
Yeah.
And there are two founders or people who have it who are also sound artists and field recordists.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. No, but it's good that it ended up being right in the end.
Yeah, I mean,
I have heard so many crazy stories about producing vinyl, and I've been like experiencing some of them myself.
Yeah.
And like sometimes it's just like you have to just stroll with. I was having this one of my releases that is called Maxi Single that was supposed to be 45 RPM, but when I got the test pressing, it was 33. And it's called Maxi Single.
That's quite a mistake.
And the Maxi Single is supposed to be at 45, and the whole thing was to make like a Maxi Single. But then the reason for it was that it was like they meant that it would sound better if it was pressed to 33.
They thought.
Yeah, they thought that, and I think they maybe were.
Maybe they thought it was too much in the maybe too much around the 19,000 hertz.
No, but I think
slow it down.
I think like the music sounds good. And I think like maybe they were right in the end, because it was like the tracks were like just too long, so I was like pushing the length.
The length.
If I should do like a real maxi single at 45, I should have like shortened down the tracks even more, maybe. So I think maybe they were right in the end, and the sound, it sounds really good. So then I was just like rolling with this.
You did, yeah.
But it was because of the result being like it sounded right. And it would be. So I actually never did the 45. Even if I released it.
They put on the field recording preset on your
I didn't release a 45 like a maxi single, so I could do that later, because it's like you get higher fidelity. But that's more the other end of the spectrum. If you're doing like DJ things for clubs that is supposed to be really loud and supposed to be really like sharp, then you go with 45. So that's like a different extreme.
I have a 7-inch field recording vinyl at home.
You do?
Which one?
It's Chris Watson recording with some hydrophones.
Yeah.
And sometimes when I'm doing DJ sets for my wife at home, it's like we end with the field recording. It's that, or it's my friend Ole eating potato chips, also on a 7-inch. A man eating potato chips and playing drums. Very limited pressing.
Maybe we should head into the next example. It's from this album, which is the last track. Maybe it's a good. If there's no one asking questions, feel free to, if you watch this and you have stupid questions about
what is the field?
Where is the field?
Where is the field?
Who's in the field? Then you must be quick, because we have like 20 minutes to answer. So, yeah.
But let's introduce this next track then.
The last one, Oppavice. So this one is about the river of the same name that I made together with the vocalist Adela Mede and clarinet player Klaus Holm. Let's
Nice.
listen.
Let's check out the sound mix on this one.
I see
Opavitse. Sounds like this Balkan brass banger. Like this Goran Bregovic. When you just see the...
When you just read the name.
What does it mean?
No, it's the name of the river
Yeah.
that
Is
this album is a part of.
Related to what we see on the...
Yeah.
the
So
background.
yeah. So this is a small wetland close to where I was born.
Yeah?
And I've been working there for 6 years now for a project that engages with this landscape because it has been in sort of destroyed in the past, and now in the past 10, 15, 20 years it's been in the process of landscape restoration. So life has been coming back there, and it's really like a small positive change in the world of crashing ecosystems.
Yeah, but this is...
So it's like a really like a small bit of hope in a lot of darkness.
This has to do with like environment and pollution and things like this area we see. Okay.
And this project has been ongoing there, and then as part of it I started recording there. So after 5-6 years I ended up with, I don't know, 300 or 400 hours of recordings.
So much.
Yeah, it's really
that's extreme. But how do you like how do you like even attack this length of material?
Yeah, that's a good question. But once you start, it's you're so into it, and then I also don't live there anymore, so it's also this thing of coming back and like kind of connecting with your home and so on. So it has been really like a wonderful process, but yeah, it's quite demanding on data storage.
Did you have a hard drive crash at some point?
Yeah, I did have a hard drive crash. Yeah.
How did it go in the end?
It went well. I got it restored for some thousands.
But I was also wondering about this, like when you're doing so much recording and you're coming back and so on, do you like make lots of notes when you're there, or do you speak into the microphone, or do you have a big system for archiving all these files, or is it like a complete mess, or how do you work with all this material?
Good question. I usually, I never speak into the microphone. I know people do it, but I have never done it. I never felt, maybe because I don't want to listen back to my own voice. But then depending on if it's this kind of drop rig or small like recording while walking, or I would take notes. But then, as I said, as I don't live there, then I would often end up with like a week of recordings, or like, it was this trip. And then I would go back and listen to it and like skip through. I also, if it's these long, like many hours, I would use spectrogram to look at what's in to get some, different kind of ways in.
You can see like in the spectrogram what is happening.
Yeah, or if it's a lot of the same, or if there are some different looking events.
All of a sudden there is like some squiggly line very high up, maybe some birds showed up or something.
And these
That's
kind of
interesting.
things.
What do you use to make a spectrogram?
I use spectrogram in Audacity, faktiskt.
Yeah, that's
Actually.
it's so easy.
Yeah.
So you can actually, that's really interesting if you have like super long. But what do you listen for? Or look for or listen for? What do you, when you get home with this?
Then it's mostly like very small things, like just changes. Because this kind of work has a lot to do with like following this small place over a long time, and then you get to know it, and you get to know the sounds of it, and in different seasons and times of the day, and then you can follow like very small changes that happen there. and that's what interests me very much. But then I don't have really a huge agenda to like trying to catch this particular sound. It's mostly the experience of it, like coming back and.
Did you have to like sneak away from the not making sounds yourself when you do this?
No, I
Or
don't really care.
You don't care?
No.
Yeah, because I like putting on the microphone. Like.
I just do my thing and then leave. Or
But
sometimes
this,
if it's like shorter, sometimes I also walk around and then I would just sit in the recording. And sometimes you can also hear me, and that's also fine.
That's a part of that.
I mean, I'm there.
Yeah. That's a part of the. So now, when it's 17th of May, then you will probably go out in Oslo. It's going to be a lot of sounds too.
Yeah, that's a lot of
I think you
sound.
should do like a field recording on the
On
the 17th, just to have your like viral.
Maybe you need to use the 32-bit float mode then. It's gonna be so insanely
go out with
loud
this,
sometimes.
Go out with this rig and then just capture the 17th of May. I wonder if someone did that when they had like this. They were shutting down the FM band in Norway. I put the mic in the window because then they were like firing the air sirens, and then that's the nearest I got to a field recording was just like capturing this air siren.
Yeah, that was field recording.
Yeah, it was field recording because it was like I knew that they were going to sound this alarm. And I put my Zoom in the window and like posted to SoundCloud or something as like elegy for the FM
As a
band.
field recordist.
As a field recordist for once, I
A
did
real
like
field recordist.
yeah, and it's interesting. I think now time is really flowing, but I think it's really like this last song that we heard, like when you have these musicians.
Yeah.
How do you like go ahead? How do you make something like this track we heard? Like, what is the process? It's like what is first, instruments or the or your sounds or what is?
Yeah, for this particular one, it's special in this album because it's the only track that is made in post-production, so to say. But the base of it was some field recordings that I made of the river, and the melody that I made many years ago. And then I handed over these almost as like small bits of notes to Adela and Klaus, and they worked. And when we talked, then they worked more, and then we exchanged. So it was, and we worked actually remote. We never went into a studio together, so they recorded in their homes, both of them, and it was a lot of back and forth.
Yeah, so this is like a Corona production.
Yeah, a little bit like a Corona production.
Because to me it sounds like they are out there in the field.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have been surprised if you said they went down to Czechia and they put out the clarinet and they was I was putting the Zoom or
there was
like,
a plan, but then I was pregnant.
That was the plan.
Yeah, I was pregnant and it couldn't. We couldn't do it.
No, but that was the plan. But it's. I feel like you succeeded in creating this like image. I was like seeing these people out in the out there.
Yeah,
luckily it was very well mixed. The mixing process
Thank you,
was done
Christopher.
by a very professional guy.
Who did this mix? Who did the mix?
Yeah, it's Christopher
Yeah, on this track.
on this track. Yeah, it's a beautiful mix. No, yeah, really.
But did you do anything like to make it fit into the?
Yeah, it's been a while now, but I do remember like experimenting with like just very small reverbs that you don't like. You don't hear the reverberation, and also some EQ stuff, just cutting away like the boost you get from being in a room. I remember. Because I remember the ideal was this like natural out there in the field.
The reverb of the outside, which is like no reverb.
Exactly, yeah.
But there is some like you can get some reverbs when being, but it's a sound of being outside. Do you think about that? Like the sound of being outside is like there is no reverb, but there still like is some.
Yeah, but you can come across echoes and like there are more reverberant outside spaces, then yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like an anechoic chamber, but it's very different from being in
It
a
is
room.
very different, yeah. Mm.
The sound is like disappearing. I feel with snow, it's like really like an anechoic chamber. That you when the snow is like really tight, it's like the sound is like just
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's like
Yeah.
an ambient season. Everything is dampened.
Yeah.
it's the opposite of
But,
the
but
opposite
all
of
the-
ambient season.
Yeah.
There's no reverb. You should like the echoes everywhere. Yeah. Is there anyone in the chat now, or is it like this is like a chatless?
No, it's very ambient
It's
vibes in
it's
the
a very ambient in the vibes in the chat.
They're out there in the field.
Now we've been like talking for an hour almost, and
Wow.
I think like maybe we talked about everything except for the. Yes, I have to ask one more like serious question. It's like we noticed that you've been on like this poster for this nice, for example, concert series. And how do you How do you do that? Like present this music in a concert setting?
Good question. Something that bothers me quite a lot, and that I also talked to Christopher a lot about. How to play or how to make myself comfortable in playing concerts live with this kind of material, and what are the elements that I play live and what are those that I don't, and so on. But in this particular concert I had a very simple setup with a small MIDI controller, and then I played something I would call almost a live mix, that I was mixing live recordings that were already made and some music that was already made, and I would do some effects and some small EQing, very subtle things
Yeah.
live.
And so it's more like an electronic music setup.
Yeah.
It's not you like singing on top, or
No,
like,
no.
or like adding,
No.
or like.
Yeah, it's like
you mix the different sound sources, like in the.
But you also had some where you were reading some text and showing some images, right?
Yeah,
in
I mean,
text
yeah,
and so on?
yeah. I have
remember.
done different variations of it, but I'm trying to find something that I'm comfortable in, as I can feel quite. I don't know. I often feel very uncertain about playing with a laptop and how should I do it or not, and so on. I have a lot of doubts
I think many people
in that
have that.
field.
Yeah.
In that field, so I'm trying to make it so that I can enjoy it.
Maybe you should have like you have scratching. Like two turntables on the showing off.
As long as they don't start with the William Basinski dance moves, I'm happy.
I'm joking. It's like I think like for this type, personally for this type of music, I don't think it matters too much actually, as long as the what is coming out of the speakers. I would think that the audience that will show up to this kind of event, they would like show up more with their ears and their hearts than like to see you perform.
Yeah, but it all
It's,
comes from this, you know.
yeah.
There's like expectations that you are a performer on the stage.
Yeah.
But I have noticed that if I play live in like situations that are not where I'm not on the stage, but maybe like in the middle of a room and people are around me, or in a setup that is a bit different, it feels less. I feel less stressed.
Yeah.
From
Yeah,
that,
maybe it's more like not a stage thing, like doing this kind of music or sounds. That is like it feels weird. But I feel weird, and every single time I'm put as a DJ on the stage, I feel weird because I feel like the DJ is belonging in the back of the room, or like with the guys on the mixer, and like. I don't want to be like watched
in the front.
While like standing on the stage DJing. It feels like maybe it's a little same kind of impulse.
Yeah.
It's people are there to like hear or in my example like dance, and if they like concentrate on like looking at someone, it's not supposed to be like too much there. It's weird.
But there is something interesting about like being the sender, sort of. Like you are the person that's like presenting the music and so on. And I think like the more we go into this like I mean first like Spotify era and then AI and all of this, I think like having a human there, like maybe not for the dancing part, but like in your concerts, for example, there is something about like, okay, it's actually this person that is like expressing something that I find really nice. And then I don't like feel like you have to be so like virtuosic or like figure out some like great entertaining concept. It's just like, okay, here I am the artist now, and here is what I'm expressing in a way. And also like, I think with these DJ sets that you're explaining about again, like some DJ sets at Mead, for example, when you're just like on the floor, that's like great, and it's nice to see you, and we like smile, and you play a nice track, and we go, "Whoa!"
Yeah, on the floor is good.
So
on the stage is the weird thing.
Yeah.
It's like
the elevation kind of.
Yeah.
Like you are like the
It
rock
feels
star
very
of-
outdated, kind of, to be up there.
If you're a band, it makes sense since you have like
A show kind
monitoring, and you have like people maybe that are like falling around, but there's not a huge mosh pit at the field recording gigs or like Christopher's gigs. So that's why the stage is there, I think, or that maybe people can see you, they can see someone playing drums or something, but it's like for this kind of music, it
Doesn't make sense.
doesn't make any sense.
No.
Yeah. Last question.
Yeah.
Last question before we round off and say thank you is that like, is there anyone you would like us to check out, like in your field or outside, artists or anyone we must like really check out? Do you have any particular favorites?
Yeah, I was thinking I would mention two labels that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
Both are from Slovakia. One is called Mappa, M-A-P-P-A, and the other one is called Warm Winters. And they both release a lot of experimental music and also music with field recordings, and are really lovely outlets for nowadays music from Central or Eastern Europe and elsewhere also.
Nice. Yeah, so just two labels.
Yeah, two labels.
No artists.
No, I thought because I mean then they have because I love in this era nowadays it feels so precious to have these small labels that curate and pick these small local artists and showcase them, or that's how it feels to me. So
it's more like a scene.
It's more like a scene.
I haven't heard of it's Mappa, and the other one was
Warm Winters.
Warm Winters. I haven't heard of. It's nice that you can. That is like.
And they have huge catalogs and a lot of releases on tapes and vinyls and.
It's like Breton cassette that we had here last time. It's like before I heard about them. It was like I didn't have any. I didn't know any of the artists except for Pernilla. It was like when. But thanks. That's really interesting. That's we will like blast it on the next Nashville. Going to Bandcamp for you and check that out. Yeah,
cool.
But maybe we should
on the 17th of May after the Kozmické dies down, you can hear the birds and
after Magdaléna is finished recording the 17 May talk. And but maybe we should round off now. It's been 1 hour and 5 minutes.
I
maybe
can't
if you don't have any, you can't believe it.
No.
You think it was fast?
Yeah, it went really fast.
You think it was fast? It feels fast. But if you don't have anything to add or anything to you really feel like to say before we go.
Do you have questions, Christopher?
No. Now we have to catalog this and then look at the spectrogram and figure out what site-specific version of this we should present. No, I think it was great. It was very interesting to hear about
Thank you.
Yeah, a lot of stuff we didn't like really know. Like yeah, and but thanks so much
Yeah, thank you
for
so
coming
much.
out, and people must listen to this whole like half invisible album. It's really great. We've been listening to it quite a lot. We're like preparing the questions for this. I've been like spinning it like. And it's not background music, but it can also be like you can also like just like place yourself out in the like field and like take this music in. It's nice because sometimes I was like, I didn't really know if I put on something
Or not.
But yeah, no, it's really nice. Congratulations with the new release.
Thank you.
And we will probably be back like June. We're not really sure about the next one. We have a crazy lineup for the autumn, but maybe another episode in June, and probably that's it for the 5th season. So thanks for watching, and thanks to the voice in the S05 and Grace in the back. And see you next time.